Hello dear group members, I am Peter Platt and we have a new drawing for correction. It was made by Khan. I don't know how to pronounce his name and I wrote it here down so you can see it. And we have a portrait done about a girl. I think she's someone from a film. It's like Emma Watson, and I asked about the reference he used, and he said that he used the reference as another drawing for another artist, so I won't show it because it's from someone else's work, but I would mention, since Khan is a new member, that it's really important to not use as reference others' drawings or paintings or others' creations. It's more better to use a reference as a model, a real life model, or as least a photograph of the person you want to draw. So it's not beneficial to draw after others' painting or drawing. And since I got this drawing, I will just point out a few things, and it will be really fast and short. The first one, it's what I want to say. There are a few problems with the portrait. If you are dragging our middle line of the portrait, since we are looking to this portrait from front, we will see from start that the lower lips is the lower lip isn't in the middle. So this part is a little bit longer than this part, so the lip is a little bit moved in that direction. So if when you are drawing something, it's beneficial if you drag your cross line, the axis of the portrait, and with a nice thin line which can be erased with time, but it can help you a lot when you are doing the construction of a portrait. Another thing which I think is a problem is, let's see, oh no, it's not. I thought that the two parts of the mouth is a different size, but it's not. It's good. Another thing I want to mention, if she has her mandible on this part like this, in the other part it can be like this. So if she has a rounder mandible on one part, sorry about the ambulance. Yes, if she has a rounder mandible on this part, she needs to have the same rounder mandible on the other part. So as you can see, there is a little gap. Alright, that's the second thing I want to mention. Another thing I want to mention, that the nose, yes. The nose, it seems that it's situated on this line, yes, and it's not the same axis as the eyes. The eyes axis sits like this, right? And as you can see, the axis of the mouth sits like this. So two of the axes are alright and one of the axes isn't. because this eye got a little bit dropped down. Alright, so it needs to be moved up a little bit, and there needs to be a little bit more rounder. Alright, and another thing I want to mention, this part of the nose is good, and here you didn't shove the form. Alright, you need to shove the form, because here we have the same form like here. Alright, and it's not shown that form. Okay, and now I will duplicate this layer. I will take her eye together with the eyebrow, and I will move it a little bit up, right, like that. And since I'm in Photoshop and I'm not on paper, I can do some tricks, which means that I can use the liquify tool, and I can raise a little bit the eye, can make it a little bit rounder. Alright, okay, like that. Okay. Alright, and now it's if I drag the same line from eye to eye, we will have a nice even axis. Alright, for the eye, for the nose, and for the mouth, and also for the chin. Alright, what I would do a little bit more, I would emphasize this form. Right, so it shows the form of the shape of the nose. Right, and we need to be careful with the shape, like that. Alright, since when we are drawing a nose, let's make a small sketch here. If you are drawing the nose, let's see, we have the nose, we have this part, the middle of the nose. Alright, we have the soft tissue, okay, on both ends, and this shape goes beneath inside, and this goes outside. Alright, this is the nose. Okay, so this part which you see here goes inside, and this part goes over it. Alright, so that needs to be visible, like here, needs to be visible here also. Okay, like that. Okay, and we can put a nice shadow there. Alright, and we have a nice nose there. Alright, also we need to be careful to put the nose, the line of the nose, on the same axis, both parts. Alright, which means that we are going to put it like here. Alright. Okay, and I will delete this. Okay. Right, beneath the nose we have all the time shadow. Okay. And that small light line which is beneath, it's reflected light. And if you don't know about reflected light, you can go over our page to the free resources, peterplattacademy.com, and you can find here shading a sphere, and it's a video about the basics of shading, and I talk about shadows, lights, and reflected lights, and you should watch that a couple of times, and maybe you can make it yourself a couple of times, so you can see what is it all about, why we have those lights beneath the nose. The same thing is here, this line which is here, it's a reflected light. And if you are watching that video about shadow basics, shadowing, you will see that that light isn't so harsh, and it's a little bit different, so it's not that harsh. You see, it's a little bit more like this. Okay. Basically, in that video I do a demonstration of a little spherical shape, and I will do it really quick here also. So this is the sphere, and this will be our sphere. Now it's just a circle, but putting some shadow, right? We will see that our circle become a sphere, and that is because of the lights and shadows. And here we will put a little bit light. Okay. Okay, and beneath we put the cast shadow. Since we have the light from here, we have a cast shadow on this part, and the cast shadow is the darkest value, right? Okay, let's make the background a little bit lighter, like that. Okay, so it's more visible. And we talk about light, and if I put here a light source, this will be the lightest part of the object. right? So if I write here, okay, this is the light, liked, yes. This part here is named self color, or self value, okay. This is the shadow. I write on this part shadow, okay, and this is the bounced or reflected light. Reflected, let's see, let's write here, this is the reflected, right? Reflected light, okay, and this is the cast shadow, beneath cast shadow, okay, and this is the direction of light, okay, direction light, okay. So the light, when the light comes down and hits the ground, it will bounce it back, alright? Comes down, hits the ground, bounce back, okay? And a lot of time when the light comes and bounces on the floor, on the ground, it bounces back, alright? And that light is here shown under the shadow, and it's called reflected light, okay. And the reflected light, we need to know about the reflected light. The reflected light value will be all the time darker than our light source, alright. It's not the same darkness, it's not the same light, because it's not the same intensity light, alright. And the same thing you will see here. It's a bounced light, which is bounced back from her skin, from her neck, from the other parts of the picture, maybe other parts of the picture which isn't visible, or the other objects. So that's a bounced light. The same bounced light you can see on under her nose. That nice light line is also bounced light. Also bounced light you can see on her lips, which gives a little bit more reality to your drawing, alright. Also bounced lights can be visible beneath her eyes also, okay, in some places. So this thing, the basic of shadowing, you need to know about it, okay. Basics. And not just knowing about this, but you need to learn them, you need to study them. You can take a nice apple, you put it in front of a window and you start to draw it, and you will see that the apple will have the same lights, self color or self value, the same shadows and bounced lights and cast shadows. And the more you are practicing on real objects, the more you will be able to see the value differences between the shadows, the light shadows, cast shadows, and bounced light, and the more realistic will become your drawings. Alright, so this is it. What should I tell you? Yes, one thing which bothers me a little bit, it's that kind of shape here which breaks the face. This shape should be a little bit more flat, like that. Alright, but you will learn that with time. Okay, so this is it. If you have any other questions, please let me know, and if you are doing your homeworks, if you are doing some studies which I told you about the Apple, please post them on the group, and we will see how you manage to evaluate, and I will review your work. Okay, I wish you all the best. Goodbye.